Olá, pessoal. Boa tarde. Bem-vindos a mais um Mock Class em parceria com a EFIG e as universidades internacionais. Hoje, em especial, temos uma universidade da Suíça. É um grupo de universidades, na verdade, mas temos aqui a professora Fabienne. Ela é professora de Le Roche-Guyon. E nós vamos acompanhar aqui com ela sobre esse mercado do luxo, esse mercado do empreendedorismo, e sobre o digital marketing. Então, nessa área de business, todos vocês aí que têm aí a intenção de seguir nessa área de negócios, vai ser muito bacana vocês participarem conosco hoje, junto com a professora Fabienne. Pessoal, eu vou pedir o seguinte, por favor, mantenham as câmeras desligadas e abrem os microfones quando a professora Fabienne pedir para vocês conversarem. Então, para interagir com a professora Fabienne. Quem estiver com vergonha ou quem estiver aí com dificuldade no inglês, é só digitar no chat box que eu vou ajudar vocês nisso, tá bom? Vamos interagir bastante, galera, que eu acho que essa é uma oportunidade única aí, ter uma professora de uma universidade da Suíça ministrando essa mock para vocês, tá bom? Good afternoon, Fabienne, how are you?
Good afternoon, Diego. Good afternoon, everybody, and a warm welcome to this session. I'm absolutely delighted to be with you. I wish I could be in your beautiful country as well to enjoy and to see you directly. However, at the time, technology is something that is really good because we can do that online. So today I would like to talk to you a little bit about luxury entrepreneurship and digital marketing. So before we start, I just would like to briefly introduce myself. So I'm Fabienne ROLLANDIN. I'm actually a graduate from Guyon, and I'm the Director of External Relations for Some Education, which includes Guyon and La Roche, as Diego has mentioned it. So I've worked for over 10 years in the hospitality industry in different sectors of activity, including technical services, which is building and developing hotels. I've worked in front office, rooms division, guest relations, as PR manager as well, marketing. So I've done quite a number of different activities. Before I joined the Guyon at the time, working also in communication, marketing. I've also dealt with a number of project management with alumni, with careers, internships. So I've done lots of different things during my career. And this is the thing which is really interesting about the experience economy, is that it opens you so many doors. So before we start, I actually would like to get to know you a little bit better and to try to understand what you guys would like to do. So my first question is that, do you already know what you would like to do as a career? So Diego is going to launch the poll so that you guys can also answer the questions. So Diego, can you, yes, manage to launch the first poll? And we would like you to answer the first question, and then actually the two questions came together. So first of all, I would like to know what you would like to do with your career. If you know, you don't know. And also with the second one, okay, if you would like to work and meet with a lot of people, if you rather would like to have an administrative or back of the office type of job, or none of the above. Okay, well, I like that. Okay, I don't know if you... Okay.
Yeah, so they are asking, let's do it, people, 10 more seconds.
Yeah, we can see that about 67, 70%, 80% of the students. All right, okay. I think it's quite good. Almost everybody has answered. Good. 3 more people need to answer. Come on, come on. Okay. Well, I think we can
yeah, we can answer.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so the sharing the results here. So I can see that a lot of you have already an idea of what you would like to do. A few don't know what you would like to do, and some are not very sure. And that's perfectly fine, because also the objective of today is also to open up your mind. Maybe after these sessions, what you see, what the experience economy is all about, all the different possibilities that you have, maybe it will give you some better ideas of what you would like to do. I can see also that most of you would like to work and meet with people, and this is exactly what the experience economy is all about. And for those who would like to work do an administration job, be in the back of the office and maybe not meet so many people, this is also possible, because once again, the experience economy offers so many opportunities. And if none of the above, we'll see maybe a little bit that later. We'll have a chance maybe to chat. Okay, so thank you very much for those results, Diego. We can now close the poll. All right. So here you have already answered that question. So what is the experience economy? I'm not sure. I don't know. Anybody has got any idea? If you guys want to open up your microphone and you want to talk, please do so. Anybody has any idea what the experience economy is all about? Or maybe you want to type an answer in the chat box, the question box.
Pessoal, agora é a hora de vocês abrirem o microfone aí e responder o que vocês entendem de experiência econômica, ou se vocês não quiserem abrir o microfone, se estão com vergonha, digitem em português no chat ou em inglês que eu leio para a professora Fabienne, mas eu acho que seria bacana vocês abrirem o microfone, tá?
Okay, so I will need you as an official translator, Diego.
I just asked them to open the microphone, and if they are too shy to do, just tap on the chat box.
Okay.
We have one here, Leticia Andrade. She said, I have no idea.
Okay, good. At least you're going to learn something today, so that's good.
Good.
Okay, all right. So let me tell you about it. So in fact, the experience economy is an economy in which goods or services are sold, but it's sold in such a way that it has an impact on people's lives, because it leaves memories. It's dealing with emotions and it's dealing with events. So you're leaving something that is going to leave a trace, a memory behind it. So this is what the experience economy is all about. I'm sure you all have gone to shops, to restaurants, to hotels, to different places. And when you're happy about the experience that you have, then when you feel that you being treated well, then of course you are going to come back. But when you feel that the experience has not been so good, you are not going to come back. And maybe you know this, when somebody is happy about an experience they have, what happens? They talk to maybe 2-3 people. But when you're not happy about an experience, when you go to a restaurant and you have a bad time, the waiter was not very nice, the food was not very good, you are going to talk to so many different people. So this is what the experience economy is about. It's really trying to live an experience that is unique. And it's a little bit like the difference when you buy a computer and you join a community, in the sense that when you go to a shop and you go and buy a computer like Acer or whatever brand, it's good. You're going to have a very good product. You go to an Apple store. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still buying a computer. It's about the same in terms of the technology, the quality, and so on. But the experience you're going to live in Apple is very different. When they have the latest models coming up, everybody's going to be queuing up because they want to have that model. They want to be associated to this brand because this brand has got something very unique, very special. You feel like you're part of a community. You feel you're part of a brand that is very exclusive. So this is what the experience economy is all about. So now, when we talk about the experience economy, there are a number of drivers that have made that experience evolve and change across the different centuries, the different decades and years. I'm not going to talk about all the different drivers of change here because unfortunately we don't have the time. I'm just going to look at one or two so that you have a little bit an idea what has made that today the world is what it is. So if we think about innovations, there has been quite a number of amazing innovations that came up over the past decades. And if you look at the airlines, all these different automobiles, telephones, electricity, credit cards, televisions, ATM machine when you can get your cash, computer, cell phone, mobiles, internet, iPods, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Pokemon. These are just some of the examples. How much time it took all of them to reach 50 million users. If you look at airlines, it took them 68 years to have 50 million users. And you look at the Pokemon, it only took them 19 days. So you can see how technology has been evolving, has been having an effect on people's lives across the different decades. So this is something that is really quite interesting. So now you've seen all of these, and actually I have my question to you, and either you can speak up or you can write it down as well. Which do you think out of these innovations that you have seen, and they're all written here on the screen, which one to your point of view do you think was the best and the most useful from your point of view? I would be curious to see that. So either you can unmute yourself and you can share it verbally, or you can write it down in the chat box. Would be curious to see which one you guys think was the best and the most useful. So Diego, I think I will need your help on this one as well.
No worries. Please, guys, we have some here on the chat box, but let's speak up, guys. Open your microphone and let's speak up.
Don't be shy. I can't see you. I don't bite.
I think it's internet. I don't know.
Internet. Okay, that's yes, because the internet was the basics of everything that came afterwards in terms of the technology. Okay, that's a good answer. Honestly, there is no right, no wrong. Yeah, I mean it's really everybody's different point of view. But internet is definitely, I think it was a start for a lot of technology advancement and the way people are today. That's for sure.
Fabienne, we do have some here on the chat box. Many just said electricity. Mariana Haranda, she said, for me, the airlines was the best innovation because it could connect too many different people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, there's the airline, there's at the time also the cars, you know, so that's why every category has had a number of advantages. But I agree with you that electricity is the basics of all, because without electricity, we would not have internet, we would not have any of the others. Airline, it's true, it has really helped developing the experience economy, the hospitality, the hotel, the travel, the tourism, to like a tremendous extent worldwide. So airline is definitely a very important one. Okay, so that's I'm good to see that you guys we are in sync. We agree with each other. So that's very good. Excellent.
Sorry, Fabienne, we do have some Gabriel Sales. He just said here, but without electricity, there wouldn't be no internet.
Exactly, that's what I just said. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're right. So this is true that the electricity is the basics of everything, and through electricity, then we've been able to develop so many other technologies and machines and apparels and so on. So you are absolutely right. Okay, great. Thank you very much for this. So now let's look at another drivers of change. It's the different generations. I'm sure you may have heard about the different generations. So there is the Gen X, which are the people who are born between 1965 and 1980. Then the Gen Y, or the millennials, those who are born between 1981 and 1995. And finally, your generation, the Gen Z, which was born between 1996 and 2012. And as you can see, these people have different aspirations, different ways of dealing with things, whether it's in regard to technology, approach to consuming goods and services. So for example, you can see that text message is more the older generation, online and mobile. The way people, they like to communicate is with the Gen Y, and the Gen Z, they like to see each other on through FaceTime. In terms of when they go and buy something, for example, the Gen X will be quite loyal customers and come back to the same brand and being loyal to a specific brand. The Gen Y, they value experience, and the Gen Z, they're looking for the best value, because one generation, the Gen Y, was born during a prosperous, good time, while the Gen Z, you guys were born during crisis. So the way your attitude, your behavior is very different. And also in terms of work, It seems that the Gen X is more looking for aspiring to have senior management level type of positions, while the Gen Y, they have this independent worker's mind, and you guys seems to be already, even at a young age, you have very much an entrepreneurial mindset. You seem to be like natural entrepreneurs. So this is very important to see that you have three different groups with three different needs. And when you're talking about your future career, depending what you will have to do, what you will do, you will need to address those different needs to those different generations, including, of course, into the experience economy. So now let's look a little bit how about luxury. I'm sure that we must have some of you here who are interested into luxury. This is something that is attracting a lot of people. And quite interestingly, you will see that luxury, sometimes people have the tendency to associate it to women, to ladies, but trust me, luxury is very much for gentlemen as well. So what does luxury mean? And it means a lot of different things. Today, there is not a specific definition because we have realized that luxury can mean a lot of different things for different people. For some, it can be about the scarcity. So something that is very rare to find that you don't find everywhere. For some others, it's because it's super expensive, because it's priceless, that it is luxury. For others, it will be just the brand image. They will associate a brand, whether it's a Gucci, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, whatever, to luxury. For others, it will be because it's very exclusive. You know, not everybody has got access to it. For others, it will be because the way it's been made, the service that has been delivered, it's the quality of what people are buying that will make it luxury. For others, it will be the design, because the design is absolutely amazing, and we'll come back to that a little bit later. Or for some others, it's because it's telling an amazing story. And very often these old fashion apparel houses like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, they are telling stories because they've been existing for a very long time. So as you can see, different meaning for different people. Now, what are the sectors? Where is luxury? What is luxury? You can see all these pictures. You can see cars, you can see a resort, you can see some spirit.
Sorry, Fabienne, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Rosalia Ometo, she said she didn't understand natural entrepreneurs in the Generation Z. Could you please repeat that for her?
Yeah, the Gen Z, the younger students, the younger generation, we have seen that sometimes at a very young age, like even at the age of 12, 13, 14, they have this entrepreneur mindset. So entrepreneur is having your own business, okay? That a lot of these youngs, they have launched through sometimes internet, through social media, becoming like influencers, bloggers, and so on. They have launched their own business. So it seems that the younger generation, they aspire to have their own business, to become an entrepreneur. I don't know how you say entrepreneur in Brazilian.
Empreendedor.
Yes, exactly. So this is what they have this. It's innate, if you want. They're born with it, not all of them, of course, but it seems there is this big tendency in this younger generation to be natural entrepreneurs. This is what it means. I don't know if this is clear, if she understood me.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Fabienne.
So coming back to the world of luxury, you can see all these different pictures which represent different sectors of the luxury market. So here you can see that actually cars represent 42% of the global world of luxury. So cars is definitely a lot for men, gentlemen who are attracted, who want to have like the most amazing, beautiful cars. Then you have hotels. So hotels is also quite important, luxury hotels, which represent 17%. Then you have 23% with all the luxury personal belongings. So whether it's shoes, it's fashion, it's jewelry, watches, apparel, bags, and so on. So this is the second largest a portion of the pie of the luxury market. And then you have smaller ones like wines and spirits. You must be wondering, like, how come that wines and spirits is part of the luxury market? Well, the other day I received a video where there was a box, like a beautiful crafted wooden box with a crystal baccarat bottle. And inside there was a super expensive brandy, and that box is worth like 35,000 US dollars. So as you can see, that sometimes we don't realize, but the wine and the spirit can be extremely expensive and can be part of the luxury market. Then you have the food and the gastronomy with all the gastronomic Michelin stars restaurants, for example. Then you have art, because art, we all know that it can be quite expensive when you go and buy some arts from special entrepreneurs, or from, how you call it now? Oh, I've got a blank. The famous who are selling arts, Sotheby's, sorry. Furniture and design, you know, like real estate and private jets and yachts and cruises. And actually cruises is the fastest growing market within the luxury sector. So that already gives you an idea where you could potentially work. So all these areas are open and are part of the experience economy. Now, the way that we deal with luxury today is very different from a few years back, because once again, we're dealing with the different type of generations who've got different needs and different aspirations. So what are the changes that have taken place over the past few years in order to attract customers to come and buy luxury? The first one, we need to look into the customer, because the customer behavior, the way we're dealing with customers has changed. The secondly, it's with the experience, because today people, what they want, they don't just want to go into a shop and buy something and come out. They want to live a unique experience. And the third point is how we communicate, how we brand, how companies are branding themselves, doing the marketing with the potential customers. That has also changed. So I'm just gonna go quickly over a couple of these. I'm not giving you everything because, once again, because of the time, but let's look first into the new customers. So the new customers are you guys, the millennials, the Generation Y and the Generation V, because you are the biggest, the largest proportion, the largest generations which will be on the market in the next few years. And basically you're going to represent about 40 to 55% of the overall luxury goods. So we need to address those customers and make sure that whatever we offer to them, the way we offer it to them is meeting their requirements. And we need to engage on a two-way dialogue, because people, they want to have this communication with the companies. As a matter of fact, the Chinese customers, for example, is also very important. And recently, after the deconfinement started in China, I think it's the Louis Vuitton which opened, and after just one day of reopening after the COVID-19, they sold for 2.5 million of goods in just one day. So that tells you how people couldn't wait to go back and buy some luxury goods. Now also the younger generation, the way you deal with luxury has changed. Very often the younger generation, they don't need to own something. You don't need to buy and own like a pair of Jimmy shoes or a bag from Gucci or a belt from Louis Vuitton. They're quite happy to rent it, to use it once or twice, and then to move on to something else, which is not necessarily the case of the older generation. They want to own it and they stay with it. On the other hand, you also, the younger generation, they do what we call mix and match. So that means you're gonna mix like a H&M t-shirt or Zara t-shirt with a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes and jeans from some other brands. So they don't have to wear everything that is top luxury, but they like to have something that is much more affordable and at the same time something which is luxury. So these are all the trends that are taking place and for which the luxury goods and fashion, they need to pay attention to this type of details in the way they communicate also with their clients. Now, in terms of the demand for experience, people, they are, because they know what's going on, you know, with internet, you know everything that is going on. So people are demanding a much better experience. So for example, in the shops, the way that the shops are now designed, when you go to a Zara shop, you go and you go around, you take your stuff, you pay and you leave. But when you go into a luxury shop, you want to have an experience. Maybe you want to go with a friend who can help you, who can tell you if you look good or not. When you're going to arrive, we're going to open the door. Welcome, madam. Welcome, sir. Please have a seat. Can we offer you a glass of champagne? So the whole experience is going to be very different. And this is something now that companies have to pay more and more attention to make sure that they can differentiate themselves from other companies. So in terms of this famous experience I was telling you about, they need to surpass themselves to really deliver a top-notch experience in order to attract the people to come back to them. So this is something that they have reviewed, where a shop does not look like a shop anymore, but sometimes in some places it looks like as if you were in a big dressing or as if you were at home, to try to give this cozy atmosphere and feel. Now let's look at the way that companies are communicating with their potential or existing customers. And this is something that has changed quite a lot over the past few years. Very often they're going to use multiple checkpoints. So that means that somebody, for example, may first go on internet to look at the brand, look at what they have to offer. Then they will go and review somebody, an influencer, to see what the influencer is saying about that product. And then they might purchase it online. And then if they're not happy, they will return it to the shop. So that means that companies, they need to have all this available to them so that people can use all these multiple touch points in order to complete their customer, their purchasing journey. So here's some examples. For example, influencers. I'm sure you all know, like Chiara Ferragni, she's a haute couture influencer. She's got 15.5 million influencers around the world. So imagine that all the big brands, they want to work with her because they know that she's got such a strong influence on the younger generation and on their potential clients. So they want to use her and they're ready to give everything that she wants. And I can tell you that she's dressed from top to toes by all these companies and she's not paying a single dollar for whatever she's wearing, for makeup and so on. The same Amy Song, she is in Asia. She's also super famous. So these influencers are really influencing people to purchase different brands, different items, because they know that everybody wants to be like those influencers. Another example is that with social media, everybody today is using different social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter, whether it's WeChat, Flickr, I mean, you name it, all the different possibilities that these companies can use in social media in order to get themselves well known, they will do so, because like this, they can spread their message across and try to gain as many customers as possible. So a couple of years back, social media was maybe not so much for luxury brand, it was more for non-luxury brands, but then they have realized how important it was. And on top of it, if they want to attract the younger generation, they had no choice and they started using those social media. And we will understand that a little bit later when we talk also about digital marketing. So now I have my next question for you. I would like to know, what is luxury for you?
Sorry, Fabienne.
So maybe you can launch the poll, Diego.
Sorry, Fabienne, we do have some questions.
Yes.
Before you go forward.
Sure.
Sorry, Anna, do you want me to ask? Do you want to ask you by yourself? Do you want to give it a try?
Come on.
So, no worries. So English is our second language, even for Professor Fabienne, right, Professor?
Yes, my mother tongue is French.
Yeah, so don't worry. Don't be shy, guys. Okay, I can ask for her. She's asking here, how does work the raise up of the new luxury brands? I think the brands of stores, because they don't have like a huge background. I think she's telling about the new brand that is coming up. I think maybe Miu Miu, which is by Miu Prada.
Yes.
Which she's telling you how it works, the rise up for new brands, luxury brands. How do you understand about it?
Good, sorry. Good afternoon, teacher.
Hi, good afternoon.
I was talking, sorry for my English. For example, Chanel is a very old shop. I don't know how I say that, but the new shop, não sei como fala marcas, the new brands,
Yes.
how they has these essentials for the big luxury shops.
So you want to know the new brands that have just started recently, how they're promoting themselves? How do they become well known?
Exactly.
Okay, so basically, as I said, most of these young brands, they look first at who's their target market, who do they want to target, and most of these young brands, very often they're targeting the younger generation. So they will try to get somebody like an influencer who is going to become their how you call that, like their representative, and that person is going to talk on their behalf and trying to influence other people. So of course they will open also some shops, they will do through online shopping. So it's a mix of different strategies to attract new customers. Organizing fashion shows and trying to differentiate themselves in the way they do their fashion shows. Others will not do a fashion shows, but they will use all the different social medias, because we know that social media is something that is so important today, that very easily you can pick up and people will discover you, will find about you. And then if they like what you do, what the clothing that you're producing, then they will buy it. But very often using influencers or even using customers, and these customers become a little bit their ambassadors, because if you like a brand, what are you gonna do? You're gonna wear something, you're gonna talk to your friends about it, you're going to recommend it, you're gonna say how great it is, you may even write a blog about it. So they may also use that strategy in order to attract some more people. So you will see later that in fact companies, whether new or old, they use all sorts of channels to communicate and to try to attract as many people to their world. But we'll see that a little bit later when we get into the digital marketing. I don't know if I have more or less answered your question.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you. All right, good. So now can we launch the poll, Diego?
Yes. There we go.
Okay, so I'm curious to see, what is luxury for you? So is it a unique and memorable experience? So that could be, I don't know, going to a concert, going to a fashion show, going to a great restaurant, you know, something that is quite unique, owning something that is expensive and or visible, or like a very exclusive type of holiday, or time is luxury, because very often, you know, unfortunately, time flies by. We can't stop time. And we all know that we all have super busy lives. So sometimes being able to relax, to take the time to do certain things. For some businessmen, I can tell you that time can be very much a big luxury item. Okay,
So in the meantime, Professor Fabienne, I just want to make some observation that Gabriel Sales made. He said, Luxury is being able to realize your dreams without worrying about the price that will be spent to realize them.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that luxury is necessarily expensive? That would be also my question to you, because what is
Gabriel?
luxury?
He said no.
No, exactly, you're right. Because what is luxury? Maybe for some people, having a bicycle can be a luxury, or maybe having an iPhone can be a luxury for somebody, because that person has maybe saved for months some money in order to afford to buy a bicycle or to buy an iPhone. So luxury, you know, like you think about coffee, you know, you have the Nescafe and you have oh, how you call it now, the Nespresso. Nespresso is like the luxury of coffee, but the capsule of coffee does not cost a lot of money. So luxury, you're right, is not necessarily related to the price, as a matter of fact. For some it is, but not for everybody. And has got the different definitions, as I said earlier, for everyone. Okay, so we have about 90% of the students who have voted. So it seems here a unique and memorable experience, okay? Owning something. Oh, you can do they see the results here? Oh no, sorry. You can share the results, okay? So here 54% think it's a unique and memorable experience. So later on you are going to be able to tell me what would be your memorable experience. Owning something expensive and visible, a very exclusive holiday in an amazing location. Okay, that was missing. Time is luxury. So, okay, interesting. Okay, so thank you for that. And actually my next question to you, I would like you to describe, so maybe you can, either you can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat box. I would like to know what would be for you your ideal luxury product or service. What would you do and why? What would it be?
The type of product.
Yeah, it can be a product, something, or it can be a service. It can be, you know, like something related to a hotel, to a restaurant, a service providing, concierge, luxury. What would be your ideal luxury experience for you?
Okay, for me, it will be a brand of clothes, and I love fashion, and
You love fashion.
that's my, yes, and it's it, fashion.
It would be owning like a shop, like a fashion shop, luxury clothing shop, you said, or I did not hear you properly.
A clothes shop.
Clothes shop, okay.
I want to create a new brand, a new luxury brand.
To create a new luxury brand. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Any other students? What would you like to, what would be your ideal luxury product or service?
Well, in my opinion, is makeup. I love the makeup. I'm a influencer, I guess. And in my opinion, the makeup is the most important to luxury because it's the most important for all the women in the world and the beauty on all of them.
Okay, Stephanie. So looking good, looking pretty all the time, like having a nice makeup. So you would like to have your own makeup brand, for example?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. You see, you guys have very much an entrepreneurial mindset, huh? I'm not mistaken. Okay, any other ideas, any other persons, or maybe Diego, anybody said something in the chat box?
Yes, yes. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Rodrigo.
Okay, thank you. I guess something related to travel because it provides different experiences.
Yes, excellent, Isadora. So maybe, you know, we have alumni, for example, they've created their own luxury travel agencies where they are selling like packages where the families or couples or people can travel to another part of the world where they will stay in the most amazing hotels. For example, we have one, she specialized in Africa. So they are staying in super duper luxury lodges where there are only like 5-10 guests, where they can see the private safaris and visiting different countries. So this is something that you would like to do. So related to travel, right, Isadora?
Yes, right.
Okay, excellent, wonderful. I like that.
Professor, we do have Rodrigo and Rosalia who wants to share their opinion as well.
Okay, great. Go ahead. Rodrigo, yes, I'm listening to you.
Okay, basically I would also say my luxury project, like ideally would be traveling, because instead of like wasting lots of money buying like jewelry or pieces of clothes, I've always like rather travel and go around the world or with family or friends and
Exactly. Do like a
spending time.
world tour.
Or yes, or maybe like wonderful places to spend time or beautiful places to go. That's my idea of luxury, at least for myself, let's say.
Excellent. I like that idea as well. You guys have wonderful ideas. And you know, as I said, once again, everything is possible. So that's the advantage of it. There is no right, no wrong. You know, it really depends on your mindset. There was somebody else who wanted to also to share with us the ideal luxury experience.
Yes.
Yes, Rosalia.
Yes,
Rosalia.
for me, luxury would be own some place that I could spend some time, just in peace, like away from everybody, away from those
Like a
the
remote
chaos.
place, like a
Yes,
remote, like an
yes,
island or somewhere which is a little bit far from everything, where you can have your peace and quiet and relax and have nobody bothering you. No WhatsApp, no SMS, no
yes,
emails.
exactly.
Excellent. Okay. So that's very good, Rosalia. Yeah, it's a lot of people, they do like that, I have to say. That's very good. Okay, excellent. So I really like your ideas. So wonderful. Okay, so now let's look into entrepreneurship. As I've said, we will see now a little bit what it means to have an entrepreneurial mindset, and what are the characteristics that you need to have in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Drew Houston, he's the founder and CEO of Dropbox. I'm sure all of you must have heard about it. Today he's a billionaire. And he said, don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once in order to be successful. And he's absolutely right, because when people want to create their own business, when they want to become entrepreneurs, you know, becoming an entrepreneur is not always very simple. It can be sometimes quite complex. And sometimes it also happens that people may not be successful the very first time. Why? Because here, as we say, why are we fighting for the same fish? So that means, why do people, when they open a company, they don't have something unique to offer, but they are exactly the same as the other companies. They go for the same customers, and they have exactly the same product and the same service to offer. So if you do not have a differentiator, something that is going to make you different from your competitor, very often it's going to be difficult to survive. And you can see very often some of the most successful entrepreneurs, they have failed once, but they learned from it. They failed twice. And every time they have managed, until they managed to find this super idea that differentiate them and that has set them apart from their competitors. So this is something that often entrepreneurs need to think about. So in fact, an entrepreneur needs to have 3 different profiles. And you need to develop this entrepreneurial mindset. So the first one, you need to be creative and innovative. You need to set yourself apart. And we're gonna do now a little game where either you can talk or you can write in the chat box. What do you see here? I want you to be innovative, to be creative. And you see vegetables, fruits, and spices, but I'm not talking about a recipe here, not at all. And I want you to think a little bit outside of the box and to come up with, and actually rather than talking first, I would like to write your ideas into the chat box like this. First, I don't want necessarily people to share. I just want you to be creative and to think for yourself. And what is it that you see? How creative, what can you innovate with what you have here? So Diego, if you can let me know if anybody is writing down something in the chat box, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, no one has written anything yet.
Aha, come on, come on. I can smell the innovation, the creativity here.
So Malvezi said healthy.
Healthy, okay.
Yeah. Please, Rodrigo, open your microphone, talk to us.
Okay. I wrote down products that make up a part of the economy.
You wrote what? Sorry, a product?
Products that make up a part of the economy.
Okay, all right. But here I'm a little tiny bit more specific. So trying to think to design something with all these fruits and these vegetables.
Okay.
I know it's very complicated. Trust me, if I had to do it, I never would have guessed what needed to be done. But you will see after on the next slide what this is all about. Any other ideas that have come through? If not, okay, let me give you the answer. Aha. You can see here, this is, what is this? This is an owl. So it's like a sculpture if you want. So it's really what I said, thinking, this is what innovation is all about. It's thinking outside of the box, being unique. And you need to be together to create, because when you're more people in terms of the collective intelligence, you are also much more creative. And it's also the fact that you need to sell the experience and not focusing on the product. So if, for example, you're selling a car, do not give all the technical details, because most of the customers, they don't care about it. What they want to know, they want to dream about their future car. They want to know how comfortable, how great it's going to be, how fast it will go from 0 to 100 kilometers. So you need to really focus on this experience, on creating emotions for your clients. So this is what being innovative, taking a concept, thinking further, being unique, being able to create something that nobody else has done. This is what you need to have as an entrepreneur. So this is the first profile. The second one, you need to be very good at finance and accounting, because you do need to understand how to operate, how to make money. Of course, this is something that at the moment you have no idea, but this is something, of course, that we are going to teach you, because the financial expertise is very important in order to be successful. Because if you don't want to know, if you don't understand anything about finance, I can tell you, you're not going to be successful, because this is absolutely part of the mindset. And the third one, you need to be also very good at marketing, at strategy, elaborating a strategy, and also as a salesperson. You need to be convinced yourself about what you're selling in order to convince others, because if you don't know how to sell your product or your service, then how can you convince people to buy what you're selling? It's going to be very difficult. And we will see as well the marketing side a little bit later. So as you can see, these are the three profiles you need to develop in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Now we're going to see a little bit at the skills that an entrepreneur needs to have in order to be successful. First of all, you need to be passionate about what you do. What you guys have told me, whether it's having like your travel agency or you're developing your own makeup, your fashion, as I can see from what you have said, you're already passionate about it. And this is something important, because if you're not passionate about it, it's not going to work. Okay, I think it's Confucius who said, if you love what you do, you will never work a single day in your life. And when you're passionate about something, then it comes naturally. You need to have a very strong work ethics in the sense that you need to be the first in the office, the last to leave. You need to have constantly your work on your mind, because as an entrepreneur, it's not very easy at the beginning, but this is something you need to develop. You need to have very strong people skills in the sense that you need to manage to motivate your team, to communicate with them, okay? This is something absolutely important, because if you don't know how to motivate your team, it's not gonna be possible. You need to be extremely determined, knowing what you want to do and go for it, okay? The creativity, we've seen it. You need to have also a strong competition. I am the best. I want to be the first. So you like in sports, you know, like in sports, you want to win. Well, being an entrepreneur and being successful, you need to have this competitivity in mind, like wanting to win, to be the best and the first. This is how it's going to help you to be successful. You need also to be a self-starter, okay? You're like, you know that certain things, you have to do it yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to do it, okay? Open-minded in the sense that you have to listen and to take also ideas from other people, because not only you may have good ideas, but also some other people from your team can have excellent ideas, can come up with new processes, with new strategy, with new ideas, and you need to be open-minded to listen to them. Any entrepreneur is somebody who's quite self-confident, because you know you have the knowledge and the know-how about what you want to do. And finally, you need to be extremely disciplined. Don't let yourself distracted by the non-important things. Remain focused on your objective, on your strategy. All right, so these are, in a short terms, the 10 most important skills that an entrepreneur needs to have. So this is leading me to my next poll. Are there any questions, Diego, from our students, our audience?
No.
Okay,
no.
Good. So now I would like to know, I would be curious to know, to your point of view, which of the three profiles do you think matches best with you? And once again, there is no wrong, no right. So do you think that you would be good at creativity, innovation, or some others feels like, oh, finance could definitely be something where I feel like could be very strong? Or others, you think that the marketing area could be your area of strength?
Teacher, please, how create a new brand to be store point?
Sorry, Anna, Gabriela, I did not hear the question properly.
Okay. How create a new brand that will be a store point?
I think she asked how a new brand could be a start point. Is that what you said?
Story point.
A strong point?
Strong?
Yes.
Okay.
Story.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
I will write.
Yeah, no worries. So that's okay.
Or maybe say it in Portuguese if you feel more comfortable, and maybe
if you want to
translate
speak
it.
in Portuguese.
Ok, como criar uma nova marca que será um ponto na história? Por exemplo, a Chanel.
Okay.
Ela foi uma das únicas estilistas, se não me engano, a única, que criou uma coisa
conceito
tão importante que virou um ponto na história, um marco na história do mundo.
So she's asking about like the fashion industry. For example, Chanel, she created a unique concept, a unique point that makes Chanel who is Chanel today. So she's asking how a company or a brand can create this unique concept.
Well, this is up to the company to come up with that little thing. For example, if you take Chanel, what has made Chanel? It was Coco herself. It was Coco Chanel. She was at the beginning. She's the one who branded, who created clothing for women in those days that were very much different in advance to her time when she started. So she managed to find a specific niche that made her very successful. And I believe every brand has got their specificities, have got their uniqueness that make them who they are. And any new brand, they need to find their differentiator that is going to make them different from other brands. Like Hermes, actually, when they started, they were making saddles like for horses. This is how they started. And the quality of the saddles with the leather, the way it was stitched and everything was such of an amazing and fantastic quality. This is how they became well known. And then they decided to extend their portfolio, and they started getting into bags and into fashion. So everybody has got a different starting point, has got a different story. And this is going back to what I was telling you earlier about the storytelling, that this is something the older or brand, I would say, what they're playing with, because they have a story to tell, and this is something that is attracting their customers. Okay, so we can now share the results. So it seems that we have a little bit of a majority of students who have have a creative and innovative mind. Okay, that is good. Quite a lot of few like finance. So this is excellent, because very often students, when they join our institutions, they're a little bit scared of the financial part of it, because some students are not necessarily always top of the class in terms of math. But thinking of math is one thing. Thinking of finance is a complete different thing. And you can have sometimes students who are not very good in math, who are the most amazing finance people. And we have had so many students who started, they said, oh no, we'll never choose a specialization in finance. And then they went on to the finance part because they realized that they really liked it. And then the other one, they love also marketing. Okay, so marketing is also quite an interesting one. And marketing today is absolutely a must. Okay, good. So now let's look at digital marketing. I'm sorry, Diego, but it seems we're going to be taking a little bit more time than expected.
That's okay. As I said,
if we, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Okay. So what is the a simple definition, and the definition is much more simple than the reality of it, of digital marketing. It's communicating your values or your brand to your customers and using digital tools. So we're going to see what is the difference between what we call the traditional or the offline marketing and the digital or the online marketing. So what are the differences between the two of them? So when we talk about traditional marketing, is when we use, for example, magazines, printed newspapers, brochures, flyers, when you're doing an advertising on the radio or on the TV, or outside you have the big billboards, or when you're sending a direct mail to somebody at their house, like through an envelope, offering them something specific, either a promotion or just saying who you are and what you do. Or telemarketing is when you get people to call you at home and trying to offer you something. So this is what we call the traditional, the offline, or the classical type of marketing. But today marketing goes way beyond just using those channels of communications, and we're using more online type of communication channels, such as the social media, like I've told you earlier, using Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, emails, and you name it. Creating also some content, so like writing blogs, whether it's done internally by a company or you have somebody who's writing a story, different stories about your product, about your services, about your company. Creating videos, because when you watch a video, it's much more simple to watch a video than to have to read a brochures, because a video you're passive. With reading a brochure, you're active. You have to do the effort of reading it. Email, sending email. This is another way to use the digital marketing. What we call search engine marketing. So when you have a company or when you create your company, you want to be sure that your company is going to appear on the top pages. So for example, if you typing earlier we were looking at fashion. So if you type luxury goods, okay, or luxury brands, which one is going to appear on the top of the list? So those who will appear on the top of the list obviously are those who have done the best job to be on the first page. That means they have put the right words that are going to push them up on the internet list and be at the top. You also have the online pay-per-click or advertising. When you type your luxury goods, for example, or luxury brand, you may see advertising and you may see, I don't know, I'm saying anything, huh? You may see Chanel, you may see Hermes, you may see Gucci or whatever. So that means they have typed, they have paid for that. And when you click on that link, this is when Chanel is going to pay the marketing company because one potential customer has clicked on their ad and has gone onto their website. So this is a little bit in very quick and simple words what the digital marketing is all about. So today when we talk about digital marketing, we're using a mix of different channels to reach the customers, whether they are online or also offline. Okay, so that's really digital marketing in a very quick nutshell. So now digital marketing has got some advantages over the traditional marketing. So what are these advantages? Well, globally, we're talking the fact that digital marketing is using more diversified channels. We've seen that whether it's an influencer, whether it's your website, it's internet, using Instagram, using Facebook, using LinkedIn, using Twitter, and you name it, okay? So you have many more different channels to spread your brand, your promotion, whatever you're selling to your potential customers than you have with the traditional one. You can also be much more targeted because when you do a campaign, an online campaign, you can decide who you want to target, and the marketers are going to create a campaign that is targeting only, for example, people living in this area of the country, or with this type of income, or this type of age, and so on and so on. So they can really target much more easily, because when you send, for example, a brochure or a flyer to 25,000 houses, you have no clue who these people are most of the time. Now, another thing that is very important in today's world is the ability to analyze data, because when you work online, when you have a campaign online or people are clicking on your website, you always manage to get some data from these people. So now you have this data, you need to make sense out of it, to use it in order to be even targeting much more precisely the people you would like to target. And if you realize that you've done an online campaign and that you don't get a lot of clicks, that nobody is looking at it, so you know you've done something wrong. So you can easily adjust the message or maybe the target audience to see and to correct and do the right thing. It's very cost effective because when you deal online, basically you don't have to print paper, you don't have to send it by post to anybody. So there is a big cost efficiency in terms of the cost mover. Measure the return on investment. So very often when you do digital marketing, you will know, as I said, who your customer is. So you can know exactly if what you have done is bringing you the money you were expecting to get. So this is something that digital marketing is allowing. And also it's taking into account the real-time factor, because you know straight away you can see the results with the data analytics, because behind every website, You know exactly which page has been visited the most, how long people have stayed on it, where they're coming from, which area, which country, and so on. So you have a lot of data behind the walls that you don't necessarily know about it when you're navigating. But you know, when you visit a website, they're always asking about the cookies, you know, and those cookies, this is what it does. It's analyzing what you are doing as a guest onto that website, where you're going, which page you're visiting, and so on. So these are the important factors, and it gives you a lot of information that you do not have when you are using traditional marketing. So now I have my next question to you. Now imagine that you are the boss of a company, and what kind of marketing should a company choose to be successful in the future? Do you think they should go purely digital marketing? Do you think they should use purely traditional marketing? Always use a mix of both digital and marketing, or it really depends on the type of company? So I give you a couple of seconds, and in the meantime, I don't know if there are any questions from some of the students. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Eloisa.
So it's really similar to the question you just made to us, but I thought about it before. So following examples like you said about Chanel, what do you think is these big brands never going out of style, like keeping to the traditional or following new trends?
Okay, I will give you the answer in a few seconds. I'm just waiting for a few more to answer. Okay, a few more votes waiting. All right.
Yeah, can we end?
Yes, I think we can close the vote and you can display the results. So Eloisa, to answer your questions, you take a brand like Chanel, which is a very sort of traditional brand, but this brand has managed to reinvent itself quite extensively and meeting the needs of different generations. So for example, until recently, maybe they were not very good at digital marketing, but they have realized that they have no other choice than to use digital marketing. So to be honest with you, all the big luxury brands, they are definitely using a mix of both digital and traditional marketing, because their target market is also different. They're targeting from the Gen X or even the baby boomers, the older generation, all the way to the Gen Z, okay? So in order to attract as many people as possible, they need to have a diversity of channels. As I said, sometimes when somebody wants to buy something, they're gonna use up to 16 touch points in their journey to buy a fashion good, to buy a clothing, okay? Some people, as I said, they will go first on the website. They will go on the website of Chanel, see what see what they have to offer. Then they may go and look at an influencer, what she's got. Then they will go on Instagram, see what they're doing on Instagram, see the latest fashion show. And then maybe they're gonna talk to a friend, and then, okay, maybe let's go to the shop and look around what's in the shop and see if I have something I like, and then maybe not. And then they go back home and they buy something online, then they get it delivered, and then they don't like it. What do? They bring it back to the shop because they can't be bothered to send it back. So these are today what companies are facing. So they have to be ready to cope with this. I'm not saying it's easy, yeah, but it's absolutely fascinating. It's really, really interesting. And most of the companies, I mean, it really depends. The right answer, to be very honest with you, is really it depends on the type of companies. Because you have some companies, if you take Amazon, they only and purely using digital marketing. because they don't have any shops. You know, everything is done online. So for them, traditional marketing is absolutely useless. But you have maybe like a small restaurant around the corner. They are too small and they don't need maybe to use digital marketing. People, they know about it, the word of mouth. Sometimes they distribute flyers in the houses around, and for them it's good enough. So it really depends on your business, on the type of companies that you are, and you will use very often a mix of both. And I can tell you, it's a very complex world. It looks maybe simple, but it's extremely complex, but absolutely fascinating, very interesting. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. All right, okay. We can close this poll now and we can move to the next slides. So there are a number of jobs that have been created, and I briefly would like to talk to you because, as you will see, it's all relating to more or less what I've been talking earlier. So big data, for example, manager. This is something that have come up in recent years, and that is going to take more and more an important role, because people, they want to better understand their customers in order to better target them. Online reputation manager, this is something we have not seen, but we know today that whether it's a restaurant, it's a hotel, it's a destinations, it's even sometimes a shop, anybody can rate almost anything. And we know how difficult sometimes it can be, or how easy one restaurant can be receive some bad reviews. So they need somebody to look into that, to take the necessary action in order to minimize the damage and keep creating a positive image. Sustainability manager, this is also something most companies, they have to deal with. And you take fashion, you take Chanel, you take Hermes, you take Gucci, Prada, all these brands, there are no exceptions. They have to be running their companies in a sustainable manner. Everything they do needs to be related to sustainability, because this is something that people are looking at. Then influencers like bloggers, vloggers, we've seen that. Chief Happiness Officer, what is this job? That's a cool job, I can tell you that, because today we're living in such a stressful world that the Chief Happiness Officer is trying to make sure that everybody internally and externally is happy, that things are going well, that there is no people going with burnout and not unhappy, because when the team, when the people are happy in a company, then they're much more efficient and they're going to produce and to be much more successful. Chief Millennial Officer, this is a hotel actually in Mexico who's created that job, and they thought, who can better look after millennial than a millennial himself or herself? So taking care of the customers, whether they are internal, other staff, or external, the customers coming to the hotel, making sure of their well-being. Other jobs are also, for example, no, okay, I think here it's here. So let's look a little bit at different careers options that you have in the experience economy. And as you will see, it's very broad. So first of all, you have, of course, the more traditional jobs, like in the hotels, travel and tourism, culinary arts. If you take a hotel itself, very often people, they think, but a hotel is like, it's service, kitchen, but trust me, a hotel is like a big business. It's a company. The general manager has got huge responsibility, and he's dealing with lots of different departments, because you have the sales and marketing, you have the financial department, you have the purchasing department, you have the human resources department. So you have many other departments in addition to those you see here on the screen. So it's lots of possibilities. Travel and tourism, so here you can work for cruise ship, for anything that relates to transportations, whether it's airlines, whether it's trains, it's cars, etc. Regional tourism office, luxury travel agencies are some opportunities. You also have everything that relates to culinary arts. I'm sure you all do love to eat, right? and the food you have in Brazil is absolutely amazing. So some of you maybe want to become an entrepreneur and have your own restaurant or chain of restaurants, or you want to have like a gastronomy type of restaurant or winery. So these are the opportunities that are offered to you within the experience economy. But that's not just it. We have everything that is around the world of luxury, and we've seen it earlier. It's very broad. You have many different opportunities. You also have international finance, and very often people say like, how come that I'm going to a hospitality business management school and I can work in finance? And you will find out a little bit later that, but you can work in revenue, client, asset management, or consulting. Consulting is also very interesting, very broad, whether you have to do market research for a huge complex that is coming up for a shopping mall, or for a real estate department, for example, making some hotel valuation or real estate valuation, feasibility studies. So this is something that is also quite interesting. But not only events, the world of events. I haven't spoken about events, but events is also very broad, whether it's organizing wedding, conferences, festivals, fashion shows, sports, Olympics. So the world of event can be really, really very diversified. And it's also a very interesting sector of activities where our students and graduates are working. Consumer technology, we've seen it also, lots of different possibilities, whether it's related to social media, to marketing, to business development, sales, and so on. And finally, which is quite linked to events, entertainment and sports. So you can work gaining from some sponsors, finding some sponsors for a big event that you're organizing, managing an artist or a sports person, or doing taking care of a big stadiums, for example. So these are some examples of our alumni and graduates where they are working in the experience economy. And as you can see, it's very broad. It's not just the hotel or the restaurant industry. So now I have a little question for you. I would like you to choose one of the following company you would like to work for. So do you think that you would like to have in the future your own business, or you would like to work for a large international company that allows you to travel around the world, or you would rather work for like a small type of company, or maybe your family already has a business and you will be working with your family for their business?
It's a very tight fight, right, Fabienne? Fabienne?
Sorry?
Yeah, it's a very tight fight between answer A and answer B.
Yeah. It's normally what it is.
Yeah, true.
But it's good because it confirms that. So here we can see that at the moment, quite a number of students, they want to work for an international. And you know, what I was telling you, like developing this mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. As a matter of fact, having an entrepreneur mindset is not only for you to have your own business, but even being a general manager or being a manager, director of a company, of an international company, you still need to have this entrepreneurial mindset. This is something that is very important. I mean, we have a number of our students who choose the specialization in entrepreneurship, for example, or others who do our masters in entrepreneurship and innovation, but that does not necessarily mean that all of them are going to open their own business. Very often they go and work for an international company, but the company knows that they have acquired those this mindset, which is absolutely paramount today to be successful. So I think we can here sharing the poll. Okay, so quite a number of you would like to work for an international company. Okay, excellent. So that's very interesting to see that. Great, thank you. So we can move now. So I'm going to quickly tell you a little bit about our institution so that you understand better what you could potentially study.
And just before Fabienne, Professor Fabienne starts, guys, they are amazing schools. I had the opportunity to be at the schools in January, and it's absolutely amazing. Like you'll be studying, and on the window you can see the Swiss Alps. So there is no such a place like in Lyon or Les Roches. I would say it's an amazing opportunity, guys. So please listen carefully what Professor Fabienne has to say.
Okay, so we basically have two institutions, Glion Institute of Higher Education and Les Roches Global Hospitality Education. And I'm realizing I missed a slide, so but never mind, we'll see that later. So both our schools are ranked in the top 3 worldwide by the QS, the latest QS ranking. I don't know if you're familiar with the QS ranking, but basically it's a company that is ranking universities all around the world. And in the last 4 years, they have started having a separate section for hospitality management schools. And both Glion and Les Roches have always been in the top 5, between number 1 and number 5. So this year, both schools are in the top 3, number 3 as institution for hospitality management, and also in the top 3 for employer reputation. So that means that employers, they want to come and recruit our students, okay? On the other hand, we also accredited because we are private institutions, so we need to make sure that everything we do, that we deliver bachelor degrees or master's programs that are of the top-notch level. So we are accredited by the New England Commission of Higher Education, which is one of the 6 accrediting bodies in the USA, and we have exactly the same accreditation level as Harvard, Yale, and MIT. So what does that mean for you? If you come to our institutions, once you graduate with your bachelor degree, for example, and you would like to continue your studies in the USA and go to one of the university in the USA, you can do so. So we can deliver our own bachelor and masters. And in Switzerland, among all the hospitality management schools, there are only 3 schools that have got this accreditation level, and Glion and Les Roches are 2 of them. Okay, so this is something you need to pay attention when you choose a hospitality management school. So let's first quickly look at Glion Institute of Higher Education. Glion has been existing for the past almost 60 years. So on the left-hand side, this is the view that Diego was probably talking about when he was on the campus in Glion. So this campus is dedicated to the first semester of your studies. This is where the students are going to do what we call the practical learning. I'll come back to that, but it's like a boutique hotel. When you go into this place, you feel like being in a 5-star type of hotel. It's very much boutique luxury facilities. You have like a gastronomic restaurant that is open to clients where the students, they will work. So you have a very cozy, privileged type of atmosphere. Then we have another campus where you can spend the rest of your studies from the 2nd year all the way to the end of the program. It is also in Switzerland. It's about 35 minutes away from Glion. And there you have a much more university type of environment, more for independent, critical thinking type of studies, where the students will work a lot on group project. But it's in a small town. It's about 20,000 people living there. So nothing in comparison to what you guys may have in Brazil. But the advantage is that here everything is within a walking distance. So whether our main campus or the residences where the students are living, everything is nearby. And then you also have the choice to study in London. So you can do also the rest of your studies, the 2nd year all the way to the end in London. So we are in the southwest of London. We are part of a university called Roehampton University, but we have our own dedicated facilities, okay? So these are the 3 campuses where you can study, and you will see later on that you can also go during your studies to our sister school, Les Roches. So imagine as a student, already during your studies, you will be able to study in different countries. Now let's quickly look at Les Roches Global Hospitality Education. So Les Roches has got also 3 campuses. The first one is in Switzerland. So this place is also absolutely amazing. If you like the pure fresh air, like the mountains environment, you have lots of sports activities. It's in a small village called Cromotana. And actually there, what students absolutely love over there is that the village, we have more students than inhabitants. So basically you feel like you're at home, it's your place. Everything is within a walking distance. You can see the campus on the picture in the center, the one with the roof, overlooking the Alps, and you're also quite nearby to a lot of things. And you can do here, if you wish to, the 3.5 years programs, or you can also move around. Another alternative that you have, if you prefer a more Mediterranean type of climate, then you can also go to Spain in Marbella. We have a beautiful, amazing campus there. We are 2 kilometers away from the beach, lots of facilities around. Marbella is a very tourist destination, so very popular, really nice, great place to be. And this is also another place where the students, they love to study. And here you can also do the full program, bachelor degree, if you wish to. Last but not least, we also have Shanghai. So if you want to discover a complete new culture, different living and learning environment, then Shanghai can be also a great option. So we are on the outskirts of Shanghai, about 1 hour, 1.5 hours by bus to the downtown, because Shanghai being a megalopole of 25 million people, the university is a little bit outside. So we're also part of the normal university of Shanghai, but we have once again our own dedicated facilities. So as you can see, whether it's Glion or La Roche, 3 different campuses, 3 different atmospheres, 3 different locations. So just imagine all the possibilities that you may have to study. I don't think there are many schools that are offering so many opportunities to go to different places. So what do we offer? We offer a Bachelor of Business Administration, either in a hospitality business or in hospitality management, depending on the school. We have 2 intakes per year. So this year we're going to have our intake mid-October or beginning of October, 5th of October starting. We have delayed it by 1 month because of the current situation. And then next year it will start in March 2021 and then again in September 2021. So to do the bachelor degree, of course, you need to have graduated, finished your secondary studies like international baccalaureate, IB, or diploma, high diploma. You need to be 17.5 by the time you start. Everything is taught in English, okay? So you will be living and learning with students coming from over 100 different nationalities. So you will really be like a true citizen of the world. So this is the great advantage, that you will be with so many different nationalities. So the program is 3.5 years. It's 5 taught semesters plus 2 semesters of internship. So let's look a little bit at the program. So the first semester is really dedicated to what we call the practical art. So it's learning by doing. This is such a fun and an amazing experience. A lot of students sometimes ask me, but okay, you will have to work in service, in kitchen, in housekeeping, in front office, guest relations, and so on. But sometimes students, they ask me, why do I have to work in the kitchen, or why do I have to serve? Well, the answer is very simple. It's because you're going to develop some, what we call the soft skills. And the soft skills is today what recruiters are looking for, because they know you will have acquired all the academic knowledge, but they want to know about you, about who you are, about your know-how. Are you able to anticipate the guests' needs? Are you able to lead a team, to manage a team, to anticipate and resolve problems? So this is exactly what you are going to learn during this first semester, because you will work in team, you will work under pressure, you will serve real guests in restaurants. You will have to learn how to communicate and how to manage those teams. So you're going to develop all these practical skills that are really important to become a good leader and a good entrepreneur. And then you will be able to put into action those skills into the professional internship. So if you choose Glion, you will start in Switzerland. And we have also a collaboration with École Ducasse, which is one of the top chefs in the world. Alain Ducasse is currently the living chef that has got the most star Michelin restaurants in the world. So he's got a school in Paris, and our students in Glion, they will go for a 2-week masterclass in Paris to discover the luxury gastronomy and culinary art. So really something quite unique. And if you choose Les Roches, you can either start in Switzerland or in Spain or in China, up to you. And then you will do your professional internship. So there it will be very much an operational. It's as if you are a real staff working in a hotel in different departments. Depending on your nationality, depending on the situation with the countries, you can travel to a number of different countries. You can go to Asia, you can go to Middle East, you can go to some places in Europe, provided also that you speak sometimes the language, can be linked to that. But we have dedicated teams that will help you and coach you, advise you where you can go, what you can do. There, no problems. All our students, they have 100% placement. And then you will come back for the second year. So the second year, you will learn the fundamentals of hospitality, getting into the administration management part of it. And also this is when you can do the exchange, going to other places. So if you choose Glion, either you continue in Switzerland and you go to the other campus in Bulle, or you can go to our campus in London, but you also have the possibility to go to our sister school, Les Roches in Marbella in Spain. And the same for Marbella. For Les Roches. Either you continue where you started, whether it's Switzerland, Spain, or China, and you can also do 1 or 2 semesters in London. So basically, you can tailor-make your bachelor degree program. You can go wherever you want during your studies. So this is something that is very unique, and it's exactly the same for semester 4 for the second year between Glion and Les Roches. So if you want, you could potentially change every semester and go to another campus. Okay, the reality is quite different because once you're somewhere, you want to stay with your friends, but you can potentially change. And we have quite a number of students who are doing that. Then the second internship you will do, there it's a bit broader because you can work in a hotel, but you can also work outside of a hotel. And here you will have a more managerial type of roles, more responsibilities, often managing teams and so on. So it's quite interesting because there will be a progress in the type of job and also throughout the studies you will have done, okay? And then the last year, this is really when you study the business integration, the strategies aspect, the entrepreneurial mindset that you will really develop to the top level. And in the last semester, you will choose a specialization. It's like a major if you want. So for Glion, either you continue, come back to Switzerland or London, up to you to choose. And for Les Roches, it's between Switzerland and Spain. So in China, you can only stay until semester 4, okay? So what are the specializations that we are offering? I know, first I have a question for you. Now that you have seen all the countries that you can study in, we would be interested to see where you would like to study. Do they have here the possibility to answer multiple choice?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Okay, all right, so great. So you can choose several countries if you want to.
And just before we continue, it's almost end, guys. Everyone who is interested to go to these amazing universities in Switzerland, London, Spain, and China, please let Effigie know. I'm going to type my email on the chat box. And if you want to arrange a meeting so we can explain for you better about all the programs and how you guys can have a successful become a CEO or become a very good entrepreneur, please let us know. And just to tell you guys, and I don't know if Professor Fabienne is going to talk about it, but as she said at the beginning, a lot of companies, not just hotels or hospitality, they go to this university to recruit you guys. So I'm talking about banks, I'm talking about huge international companies. So it's a great opportunity, guys, for you to start working and to become a very good entrepreneur or a good CEO in the future.
I'm sorry because the second question is about Glion, but I have not yet spoken about the specialization. So as you can see, Glion, you can choose in the last semester the specializations between luxury brand management, hotel, development and finance, or international event management. And in Les Roches, you can choose between entrepreneurship, digital marketing, and in Switzerland, they also offer finance, and in Marbella, they offer another one, which is resort development and management. So each school has got three, or each campus has got three different specializations that students can choose from. And sometimes the specialization is also the decisive component for people to choose a school.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I think we can close the votes.
Yep.
Excellent. So Switzerland is pretty close with London. It seems that London is also one area which could attract. So London is with Lyon. So interesting. Okay. I think we can close the poll.
Yeah, and then again, if anyone is interested, please let us know. I'm just going to type the email. So if you want to arrange a meeting, maybe we can arrange a meeting with Professor Fabienne or Beatrice, and then we can talk more about it. Professor Fabienne mentioned about École Educas. Guys, don't worry. École Educas is going to make a mock class in the future. It's a surprise coming next semester. So yeah, so don't worry.
It's an amazing one. So it's really something for those who are passionate about culinary arts, who want to have their own restaurants, or who are chefs who love to cook as well, then École Ducasse is absolutely a must-have. So to finish with this, I would like to talk to you briefly about internships and graduations, because obviously what you're looking for is when you graduate, you want to make sure you are going to have a career. And we have each semester on each campus between 80 to 120 different companies that are coming to recruit our students, whether for their first or second internship or when they graduate. We have on average over 5 offers per students per semester. And we have also, each school has got a portal where companies, they can place their jobs. So each school has got around between, it depends on the campus, because some campuses are being also smaller. They have maybe a little bit less, but it's between 3,500 to 6,000 offers per semester. So this is something, as you can see, you can search. You can take advantage of all the companies that are coming to recruit, because this is your opportunity to sell yourself, to have interviews. We help you to prepare. Each campus has got a dedicated team. They will help you how to prepare a CV, how to pass interviews. We have very strict dress code on campus so that you look professional, like a real businessman, entrepreneurs. And you can have interviews with those companies. And on graduation day, on average, those who are looking for a job, we have 92% of students who already have a job or have already received several offers. Those remaining are continuing towards master's degree, or sometimes they take some time off. And here you can see some examples of companies where our students are doing the internship, whether it's in London, Tahiti, Dubai, different brands, Endas, which is part of Hyatt, Hilton, Four Seasons, in finance, food and beverage, sales and marketing. And here you have other opportunities within the luxury arena with Cartier, Hermes, Hublot, that are also doing some internships, or even within the media, the events as well, and also consulting. So as you can see, it's quite broad. And here you can see some logos of companies that are coming to recruit. So of course we have a number of international hotel chains, but we also have financial establishments like a Bloomberg, like JP Morgan. We have a number of, here I haven't changed the slide. We have a number of international luxury brands. Whether it's Moncler, Louis Vuitton, we have Hublot, we have the Group Richemont, which has got Cartier, which has got Jaeger-LeCoultre, which has got Montblanc, for example. You have MSC Cruises that is also coming to recruit. We have Quintessentially, which is like a luxury conciergerie where they really take care of their customers. What they deliver to them is absolutely mind-boggling. So we have MCI, which is events as well. So as you can see, it's quite broad, and here are just a couple of some examples of the companies that are coming to recruit. All right, my last question for you. Well, we have already answered that earlier, so that's good. So now, do you have any questions? If anybody would like to ask any questions, please do so. This is your time. And in the meantime as well, in addition to Diego, if you want to contact Beatrice and Patricia, you have their QR code, or you can take a picture of the slide. They will be happy to talk to you, but might be best to go first through Diego, so that he can, he's our best ambassador, Diego, as well, because he's been to our school, so I know he's going to share with you his experience. Any questions?
Alguma pergunta, gente?
No?
No?
So if there is no questions as well, you know, we're also using social media, which for us is also important. So don't hesitate to go on the website. You have lots of information on our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channels, even Twitter, LinkedIn. So you can really have access to a number of interviews of students, of alumni. We can also put you in contact with students or alumni if you would like to. So you have lots of different opportunities to get to know our institutions much better. So that was it. I'm sorry, my God, I have taken so much more time than expected.
No, that's okay, Professor.
Lots of questions.
I have students saying here, it's amazing. It's amazing. It was an amazing opportunity. A lot of students saying that they enjoy it a lot. So we're going to share the recording of this class if you missed some part of that. And also, you guys know that you can have their own attending certificate that Fiji is going to make. So basically, you have to follow up on the Simpla website. You guys are going to receive the instruction. It's very easy, okay? But first of all, I want to thank you, Professor Fabienne. It was a fantastic time. I did really enjoy this time, and I'm 100% sure all the students here did the same. And again, everyone who is interested to go to have this opportunity, this unique opportunity to become a great entrepreneur, to have their own company, or even better, to work in an international company, Glion and Le Roche can open that for you. So please let us know, let me know, so I can arrange a time with Patricia or Bea and we can talk about it. So thank you very much. And I want to invite all of you guys this week. If Fiji is going to have on the My Way program, the webinar sessions, 2 amazing countries in Europe, amazing countries that can help you. One is Ireland, that tomorrow is going to have Sarah O'Sullivan talking about Ireland and all the opportunity that Ireland can bring to you guys. And on Wednesday, we do have Beatrice from Some Education, who works with Professor Fabienne, and she's going to talk more about this amazing places, amazing place that is Switzerland, and how amazing and how a fantastic opportunity you guys have to become a CEO from a company. So don't miss these 2 webinars, tomorrow and Wednesday at 5 o'clock Brazilian time. Everyone is going to receive the link. So thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much for everyone to attend this mock class.
Welcome. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Wishing you all the best. I hope it has opened up your mind, that you've seen that with the sharing economy, there are many, many different opportunities, that hospitality management is part of it, and you can really have some really interesting, it's business management, but within the experience economy. So lots of opportunities, and we hope and look forward to maybe welcoming you soon to our campuses. So have a great end of the day, and thank you so much, Diego, also, and see you soon.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye.